So hi everyone, it's Tina at Phenomenal Beauty. So obviously from the title, this is a little bit different than my usual post. Originally I did a request in 2011, I'll link that down below, to do my teeth fillings. And then it took me years to do an update. I did one in January, which I will link down below. And I was planning to go back to the dentist to sort of update those so interested on the sort of state of my sort of teeth fillings. So I know for some people it can be quite stressful, traumatic going to the dentist, so it's always good to sort of see other people's, I suppose, side of things and different types of teeth. I don't know. But anyway, I'm finally doing the update. I actually went back a few weeks ago. I couldn't go back. It was supposed to be end of February, then it was going to be March, but I've had lots of things going on over time, so I only went back a couple of weeks ago. I was convinced I had or was in need of a filling on the right side. I couldn't really locate. I was getting twinges at the top and bottom of my teeth. I have had quite a few things done on my teeth over time. I've had a root canal, I've had the cap, I've had lots of different fillings. As a child, I got quite a few of the amalgam or the metal or alloy fillings. I'll put everything that I mentioned down below. Because I have really large, obviously I have large molars, but I have really deep crevices in my teeth. My teeth are quite pronounced in the fact that they are quite sort of wide. I'm going to see there. Some people have more petite teeth, close together teeth. I have quite so large everything. I keep joking about large surface area on my face. I have large teeth as well, and that pretty much goes for everything. So everything is quite exaggerated, even the sort of gaps in between sort of my teeth as well. So when I went back a few weeks ago, I thought, oh no, I'm going to have another filling. What's going to happen? Maybe one of my older ones has sort of disintegrated, because obviously with the old amalgam or alloy fillings, metal fillings, over time they do sort of break down. I know they don't seem to be so popular nowadays. I mean, I've had overlays and inlays, porcelain. There's different types of ones that you can get. And also so they look more natural. Obviously with the old ones, I've got one really old one at the back. I know, it's shocking, I know. But this looks not very good. It's very tacky looking. I think, in my personal opinion, I'm only talking for myself, because I remember growing up, I was always very embarrassed to sort of, open my, sort of do that, or sort of laugh, because I felt everyone could see those sort of grey fillings in that, and over time they do sort of break down. Sometimes you'd be eating and you'd get that grain in there. I also know there's lots of different things with the old mercury ones that it could be hazardous to your health. Look, I don't know. Most of them have sort of broken down or been replaced over time. Some of the old ones have been fine. They've sort of stayed. I've had them checked and everything. But for me, I was happy when the more natural ones come in. Obviously, they are more expensive. A lot of the old metal ones I got as a child were part of the public health scheme. And it just seemed like they just would... I think it could have been better managed. Maybe if it was explained to me, I don't know, I was a kid though, sort of how to take care of my my teeth. It wasn't until I was much older when they sort of sat me down and said, you need to do certain things because of your type of teeth, because of how sort of large they are and how deep the crevices are. Because it's sort of, no matter how well I clean them, there's certain steps that I can take to ensure that I get take care of them properly, so I don't get those sort of really worn, I don't sort of have that enamel attacked and sort of worn. Anyway, so when I went back, I was very nervous. I thought, oh no, I'm going to have another filling, it's going to cost something, etc, etc. But what she did, she checked them thoroughly. I ended up getting it clean as well, which I do recommend. Even if you don't need fillings in that, it's always good to go every year or two just to get a good sort of clean, and they can just sort of check them. I didn't need a filling, and I was absolutely relieved. But when I was talking with her, it just seems that my teeth are actually very sensitive. What it appears when she did the x-ray on both sides of my mouth is that some of the enamel is quite worn, and it's more worn on this side of my mouth, where I was getting that sort of the twinges of pain, or what I was thinking was pain, is that the enamel's worn, and it's really because, and we think it's because I chew more on this side of my mouth. It's mainly because I've had 2 teeth removed here at the top and the bottom. That's mainly because they were those old amalgam fillings, and also I've had sort of them replaced, but because they sort of broke down, the replacements break down. When you get root canals or you get overlays, inlays, everything, it's not 100% guaranteed that that will last. Sometimes the remaining tooth that is there, when they try and repair it, it just falls away because it's just the damage is too deep, etc. You can get it taken out and then replaced with obviously I suppose a fake tooth. I couldn't afford that. I didn't want that done, so I just thought just take it out. And then I thought maybe at some stage or another I can get it replaced, but I have been fine. It doesn't really bother me having those two removed, but I do find I do tend to chew more on this side. If it's something sharp or it's like a hard sort of food, I just tend to naturally chew on that side. So what's happened is that my teeth become sensitive. So she just recommended me trying something for sensitive teeth. So like something like Sensodyne. So I've been using that for the last few weeks, which is another reason I didn't want to do the post then. I wanted to wait. And I always like to use mouthwash as well. I really need to with my sort of style type of teeth. So I have the Sensodyne. So I sort of use those together. I did mention in some of my other posts I use the Weleda, which is the natural salt toothpaste. I now don't use this every day or every second day. I might use it once or twice a week when I sort of feel I need to just give it a thorough clean. Obviously you can make your own salt toothpaste, just, you know, maybe your normal one with a little bit of salt in, just to give it a really good sort of clean. And she said that was fine. But I have found I haven't been getting those sort of twinges of pain or anything like that since I've been using the Sensodyne. So I'm very much relieved that I can actually help maintain that and sort of repair the enamel. Obviously once the enamel's gone, it really is gone. It's really just trying to protect the enamel that is there, which is what sort of this is I think it's the fluoride that's in there. Anyway, so that's been going well. I also use, because of my sort of gaps in between of my large teeth, I use Interdental brushes. I'll put a picture up here. I've just run out of them, but they pretty much look like, if you've seen little spoolies or mascara wands, you get different sizes depending on the gap that you need to sort of clean, and pretty much you just sort of brush in between there. So the idea is that you have your toothbrush which cleans your teeth and obviously removes any sort of build up on there, but you also have to clean your gums, and that helps sort of clean in between the gaps of your gums and also massage them. So I've had another talk with a dentist, and that's sort of what I've been recommended previously, is that with my toothbrush I don't need all those gimmicky toothbrushes out there. I don't need the electric one, I don't need medium or hard, I just use soft. And what I do is though I replace it regularly, so it could be every month or so I change up the brush. So as soon as it starts to sort of splay out, because the bristles are soft, I get a new one, and I only get like one that's a couple of dollars. What I need to do though is clean it twice a day, maybe 3 times if I need it. Like if I've had a big sort of sugary meal, I might sort of do that during the middle of the day. But as long as I'm sort of massaging and brushing my teeth, so what I do is with my toothbrush, instead of doing, I think what they do in a lot of, I don't know, programs or ads, like the straight up and down, I don't do that. What I do is I sort of do the circular motion, and it sort of gets around and in between the teeth. But I also flick the brush up and down, which is another reason why to go with the soft bristle brush, and that sort of massages the teeth as well. So sorry, the gums. So you're sort of doing your gums and cleaning the teeth. And it also doesn't sort of scrape your poor enamel on your teeth as well using the soft ones. So it's really just sort of keeping the plaque or what have you, food and all that, from building up on your teeth during the day, using a toothpaste that sort of you know, that works for you. And for me it's going to be the Sensodyne. I just picked up the Daily Care one. There's lots of different ones that out there, and using a mouthwash. Now I generally try to use a mouthwash sort of at night, or I might use it the day. Sometimes I might use it twice a day. Sometimes I just plain on forget because I don't have the time, but it really does sort of depend on what you need. This is the alcohol-free one. I was originally using the Zero by Listerine, which was the alcohol-free, because I just found for me it was just too much. It was too intense and I just didn't like it. And I found, because I didn't like using the other style of mouthwash, like the really intense alcohol-based ones, I just would, I think, purposely forget. But I find when I was using the Listerine Zero, I would happily use it. This one's fine as well. It's not intense, and again, it's helping maintain, helping control the sensitivity of my my teeth. Now, for those so interested, I actually got some scans on my teeth, some X-rays. So for those interested, this is actually something that I recommend if you do go and you think, no, I don't need fillings, I'm fine. They generally would do an x-ray anyway, just to double check how everything looks, like the health of your roots, sorry, not just the roots, but the gums and the enamel and the teeth. This is my right side. And it's a shame they couldn't give me a bigger printout, but anyway, I'll get close. So that's just the metal, the plate, so they'll put the plate in. If you haven't had one before, pretty much what they do, it's very, very quick, pain-free. They pretty much put a clamp in your mouth. You got the plate, you bite down on. There's a little pad they might put there, and they might put something over you because it is an x-ray. They'll put it up to the side of your face, and it's just like click, and that's pretty much done, and then they'll do the other side. But there, so that's the bottom and obviously the top of my right side. So as you can see, I've got all my teeth there, and that's really just this portion here. This is all fine at the front. This one here is actually where I've had my root canal. Now, if you can see, some of these are like fillings that they've sort of done, or an overlay fillings. This is an actual cap and an overlay. This is the porcelain. So you get a cap, and then I think you go back and you can get the crown on there if you need. I just got the overlay because I had it replaced. It was an overlay of porcelain, and that's pretty much where it matches the color of your tooth. I don't know if you can see it, but when I open my mouth and look at it, it does sort of blend in with it. It actually looks a little bit, I suppose, whiter than the rest of my teeth, because over time they go more of a grey-y, off-white sort of color, or yellow. I don't smoke or anything like that. Sorry, I'll just get up there. But yeah, so that is all replaced, sort of a replacement of the tooth. But I've got my actual tooth on the side, and they've just sort of replaced all that sort of top bit. So when you look at it, it looks like a tooth, but you can tell the difference with that particular one that I've had. I mean, there's different types again. You can research about all that, or talk with your dentist. But all that there is what, with the root canal, they replace the root, or they take it out pretty much. So those are all sort of healthy roots. You can see that sort of dark bit there. That's all that root muscle, what have you. And then with the root canal, what they do is they have what looks like a little corkscrew. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm sorry if you might be a little bit squeamish, but with that one, it looks like a tiny, tiny, tiny little corkscrew. They will work that down in to take out the actual root or the flesh, or sorry, I don't have the medical terms for it. They'll take that out. They also have like a big sort of rubber thing over there with a little metal clamp, and that's sort of, they call it the raincoat. I don't know if that's the official term for it, but that pretty much sort of keeps everything out from there. So I guess it sort of helps keep it sterile as they're working on it, or I don't know, helps sort of flush it out, flush around that area. And yeah, so I think she said though with some of them, I think it was this one, the enamel's a little bit worn there as well, and there's that little white spot, and that's sort of where it's a little bit, I guess, damaged is the best word I can say. And she said just to keep an eye on it, keep sort of cleaning it regularly, you know, and just to go back for maybe in another, you know, 6 months to a year, just depending how I go with all of this stuff, to check. So it's really just keeping an eye on that to make sure that little bit of damage or that worn spot doesn't turn into the need for a filling. That's sort of that. But these, she said, look fine. I'm like, whew. On the other side, I'm a little bit ashamed to show it, but the other side, that's where I've had the 2 teeth removed. Again, like I said, I had a discussion, like, you know, did I want to try and get, like, you know, replace the tooth? Did I want to try and spend hundreds to thousands of dollars doing the root canal, etc., etc., and then with the possibility that I'd have to have it taken out anyway? And I just thought, no, just to take it out. It cost me, I think, $70 for the bottom one. I did it through emergency at the hospital. It ended up getting to that point where I was like, oh, no, I'll be fine. Not a good thing. And the top one was, I think, at the dentist, and that was about $120 odd to get it sort of taken out, and then all sort of flushed out and make sure everything was okay. So there. And I really don't notice any sort of sensitivity with that side. If you are curious about how that sort of goes, so when they take it out, they literally just have so it looks like a big ply is the best word I can say, a flat plier. They will clamp around it. Obviously they do a few other things as well, and they literally sort of work it out and pull it. They pretty much yank it out. It sort of feels like that, but obviously you've got all of the painkiller, etc. So you don't actually feel any pain, but you do notice the sensation. The same when you're getting your root canal done, when they're sort of working in around there, you feel that something's happening, but you don't sort of feel the pain in that. Just trying to think what else with getting it pulled out. And then it's really just making sure you keep that area sort of clean. So when they take it out, what happens is obviously there's a lot of blood. And what you are supposed to do is not eat or anything for a couple of hours, no hot drinks and that, because what you're trying to do is it forms a, I don't know what the official term is, and sorry, flip out now if you're a bit squeamish, but it's like a blood cap on there, and it'll just sort of seal over eventually within a day or so. It really just depends how well you look after it. And then what that does, that sort of just stays there, and over the next week or so it'll start to sort of heal. Obviously the flesh will pull together, and then it's pretty much fine. All we do is really just sort of eat on the other side, take care to sort of you don't clean in there. Obviously things get in there. I'm so sorry, this sounds terrible, but this is for people that are generally interested. So you just carefully clean in around there, and obviously you will discuss that with your dentist anyway, but it's been fine. It's honestly generally been fine. I don't really notice it. Like I said, I'll chew on that side, and that's literally what I think sort of sponded the more worn enamel, because really that was taking all of the stress that normally would be balanced across both sides. So anyway, Sensodyne, completely fine. I can't think of anything else. If you do have any questions, obviously just let me know down below. Yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry it took so long to get this update again up and actually show you what I had promised, I think several years ago. But anyway, I'm glad to sort of report that everything else is okay. And anything that you want to sort of comment on, any sort of fillings that you've had, put all that information down below, because like I have said in other posts, it's like a forum where you can sort of, the feedback's not just for me, the comments down below are sort of for everyone that sort of watches the post and reads the sort of comments in that, so they can sort of learn and get more information from that. Obviously I'm no medical expert. Anything generally you're concerned about with your teeth, you would go to your dentist as well, but this is just sort of like a little informal little area that we can sort of talk and share the information. Okay, take care.